Hey there, everybody. I'm joined once again by Steve, and we are going to talk about the Lord of the Rings Magic the Gathering sets. Both Steve and I play Magic with each other, and we both are kind of looking at this set and wondering what to think about it. For context, I love Lord of the Rings. It's my third, say, favorite universe. That means I probably am into too many different universes if it's the third favorite, right? But uh, I have kind of mixed feelings about it. I think my first take at the top is this is a pretty blatant money grab by Wizards of the Coast, by Hasbro, I guess, and I don't really love how it's coming out. But Steve, I'd love to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, I think I'm right with you there. I like Lord of the Rings a lot. Read Tolkien going back to like middle school, but I guess two things that immediately struck me when they announced this. The first is that I like Magic a lot. I just don't want Magic to become like the everything IP platform. I do think Magic has a universe, has its own lore, and the Magic. This is my second point. The Magic universe is not really compatible with the Lord of the Rings universe. I mean, they superficially have wizards and elves, but they're very different worlds if you get into them. How mana works, planeswalking and magic, and so forth. Whereas Lord of the Rings is like sort of a like a sub creation of our own world kind of thing. And
Sure.
yeah, they don't fit together in my view.
Let's bring up some of the cards here. So I think the first thing we'll hit just is the one out of one rarity, Tanguar, which is Elvish. One
Yeah,
ring. So I think that Wizards announced this after the pre-orders went out, and the pre-orders for stuff basically sold out immediately, and the value of a collector booster went up by like $10 or something. And
yeah,
it just feels like this sort of releasing this one out of one ring is such a gimmick that does very little for the health of the game, that I just think it's a little lame. It's cool. Would I love to pull it? Sure. But is anyone going to pull it? Is it probably going to be pulled by a Wizard of the Coast employee? Maybe.
I think it's going to sit in Rudy from Alpha Investments' basement for years. No, I mean, there's a meme aspect to it, which is, I guess, kind of fun. Like some things were lost that should not have been forgotten, or the line is. But like, no, it's just a cash grab, and I don't like it. But it is kind of the modern Magic right now. Maybe like I think take stepping back, I think the designers did a pretty thorough and respectful job building cards that thematically feel like the characters. It's not just skins over other Magic cards or cards that could be other Magic cards. I think they really thought about what makes like Gandalf unique. Or it's cool to see Tom Bombadil in the game because he's from the books, not the movie. Even though I kind of quibble with him having the card type God, since he's not really defined as what he is.
Right. That's where this IP gets like a little clunky, right? Where
Yeah,
you need to use the existing frameworks and language, right? It just like Tom Bombadil, he's like a omniscient being kind of, but he's not really a god, right? And
right.
it doesn't
Because there
quite.
are godlike beings in Middle Earth, and he's not one of them.
Like
So
Gandalf is more of a god than Tom Bombadil, frankly, right? Not to get too into it, but
yeah, yeah. So yeah, and then there's like fitting the colors of magic onto Lord of the Rings doesn't also really make a ton of sense. But anyway, I think those lands are really cool, and those are going to be commons,
yeah.
map lands. So they're sweet. I guess I suspect that. How are you going to engage with this? Are you going to buy some? Are you going to collect it, play it? What do you think?
I actually will admit that I have pre-ordered some, and I pre-ordered a couple of the commander decks just because I've gone through cycles with Magic. It's like every 2 years I quit and then get back into it, and this is just enough fun. I mean, talking about dead card games all the time, out of print card games, it's like, can I buy something at a store, right? And so I think I'm going to pick some up.
Yeah.
I think the pre-ordering stuff right now is a little bonkers. If you didn't get in on that 2 weeks ago, it seems like everything's sold up and kind of being, doubling in price. Not that much, maybe 20% more. But I'm kind of intrigued. I don't think I'll get that into it. I think it's going to be one of those. I enjoy opening the packs. I enjoy sort of seeing the art on it. I really want some of these lands. I think those are just a great sort of deck staple to have for years. But I can't see any of this aging super well because they're standalone characters, right? So, can you imagine having a Gandalf the Grey deck where he's your commander, and then you have a bunch of other cards. It just feels a little clunky when you're taking it out of this set. And from what I understand is this is going to be the set. Wizards doesn't do the blocks anymore with Magic. It's just one set and then they move on to something else. And I think they're going at this breakneck speed, like 5 sets a year, even not more. And I just like lose track. I lose the thread, right? Like, what's the point of this game? There's too many new cards. There's too many new interactions. You don't really even have any favorites anymore. It's just this guy does this. It's not like this legendary planeswalker walker that I read about in the books is powerful because of X, Y, Z. It's just you just put in cards that have numbers and text on it, and there's no like emotion. It feels a little dead to me, right?
I think, yeah, that's right. I mean, Magic has become many different games. This set will be released into the modern format. So it'll be legal in modern and older formats like Legacy and Vintage, and of course Commander, which allows almost every card. It won't be in standard. Not that anyone really plays standard physically anymore, I don't think. But anyway, yeah, one thing I guess a little bit concerning about this is they have this deal with I guess Tolkien Enterprises to produce this set. They said it would be a one-off. We'll see about that. But eventually, they're probably not going to have a license to produce Tolkien stuff anymore. And if any of these cards end up being extraordinarily powerful, so far I don't think we've seen anything that's like game-breakingly powerful. But if there is something that's really powerful, and they can't reprint it in the future, it's going to become a real problem for the format it's legal in. It's going to be like a quasi-reserve list card that will be super expensive and a real problem for the format, I think. So that's something to be concerned about as a player of Magic. I don't know if they can just reskin the card with maybe they can just reskin it without the Tolkien IP later. Maybe, I don't know.
I would have almost rather been like you're taking Magic favorites and like just putting them in Middle Earth. That might have been more like, create something rather than just taking these classic cards and sort of this classic story and throwing Magic, card frames on it.
Yeah.
It feels a little inauthentic to me, but I'm still going to buy some, right? Just full.
I'm probably going to get some too. I don't know how much and if I'm going to play it with my other Magic cards or keep it just for collectible, make my own deck, a side deck or something. But I guess my other thing is like, I like lots of different games, board games, tabletop games, CCGs. I like the Lord of the Rings TCG. I want to maybe even get into some of the Fantasy Flight Lord of the Rings stuff. I just don't think I need it to be part of Magic. I would rather it to be its own game that feels like reading the books or watching the movies, which Lord of the TCG does.
I agree. So I think we can just kind of keep it a short one today. And any final thoughts? I mean, I think the lands are going to be cool. I will probably play a little bit of this, and then I will forget about it in 4 months after it comes out, and that'll be that. And people will say, "Remember they made a Lord of the Rings set? Oh yeah." It's like when they made a Warhammer 40,000 set. Oh yeah, that's cool. Yeah. It just becomes like the sort of member berries or whatever from South Park. We're just like reminiscing about what happened a year ago because things are coming out too quickly. There's too much new product that people don't really have a chance to even enjoy the product that's out.
Yeah.
My
last word is I suspect it's going to sell very well. We'll see how well it sells. And I think that this will probably be a barometer for how many more of these crossovers they do with big IPs. This is the biggest IP crossover they've done. Are we going to see Star Wars Magic?
I will just whatever quit. I
Marvel,
will close the browser.
Yeah, I think that's going to depend on how well Lorcana does, to be honest. But yeah, I think that's what I'm really worried about. I really don't want to see Star Wars or Marvel and Magic. But anyway.
I agree. I mean, on one hand, I'm happy. Like, I like Lord of the Rings. It's fun to see things still set in the universe. I think Rings of Power was fine, right? I want more Lord of the Rings content broadly. I just don't know if I want it in Magic. It's arguably one of the most beloved IPs globally, and to have it kind of commingled with a totally different one, it feels just a little off. But like I said, I'll buy it. I think it'll sell extremely well. Hasbro stock's up, etc. I understand the economics of it. I'm not, not being a child here. Just, making my gripes.
Yep. Well, that's probably all I got to say about this one.
Yeah, same. Well, everybody, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. But I'd love to hear what you think. Will you be buying it? I think everyone's answer is secretly yes, even if they won't say it. But thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch everybody next time.
Yep.